Good morning, everybody. My name is Jared O'Leary. I've been drumming since 1998, and I still got plenty of stuff to work on. Now, today, I am just going to have some fun playing some chop exercises because that's what I want to do this morning. It's been like 2 months since I've actively practiced, other than yesterday. So we're going to get the hands going. Now, in these live streams, I like to share what I'm practicing or how I'm practicing. And think of it like office hours. I'm here to get better, and if people have questions, then I'll answer it or point to some resources. There are currently 500 videos with live streams in this particular playlist on YouTube that has a wide range of things that I've been practicing over the years while doing these streams, and a bunch of questions. There's timestamps in the description of all of these videos that shows what I was talking about or what I was practicing. And I will often edit the responses I give to the phenomenal questions that I'll get from different people and put them in this drumming tips playlist. It's got over 18 hours of free drumming tips inside of here on a wide range of topics. So, for example, this one is how to play relaxed accent taps, but then it says, and other drumming tips, which means there are more topics inside of there than just that first thing. But there's a wide range of topics, whether you want to learn about audition tips or how to play better or how to teach better, etc. Now, I need to get motivated here with the great sage, Shia LaBeouf. So Shia is going to help me out. Here we go. Hello, Tyler. Good morning. Do it. Just do it. Don't let your dreams be dreams. Yesterday, you said tomorrow, so just do it. Make your dreams come true. Just do it. Some people dream success. Well, you're going to wake up and work hard at it. Nothing is impossible. You should get to the point where anyone else would quit, and you're not going to stop there. No, what are you waiting for? Do it. Just do it. Yes, you can. Just do it. If you're tired of starting over hours early, stop giving up. Man, my timing's off. I need to practice this more. Work it up slowly with a metronome. Maybe I'll use slow, fast, slow. Anyways, we're going to be working on some chop stuff today. Just having some fun, getting the hands going. So I'm on my website. It's the same content that you'll find on my home tab of YouTube. And I'm going to be focusing on this section in here. It doesn't look like there's much in here, but then when you look, it's like, wait, there's 84 chop exercises? What? Well, inside of here, these are mostly playlists. So like this has like 30 some odd chopping sprees. This has a bunch of chug variations, etc. So there's a ton of stuff in here. I'm going to warm up with float drags, which is an exercise that has a few different variations in here. I'm going to go with the basic one, which is float drags with flam drags. In all of these thousands of free play-alongs, there are timestamps in the description so you can jump to a specific BPM. And I'm going to go ahead and use this to just get my hands flowing. So we're going to start off at a nice, comfortable 120. And let's turn up the volume. What's type of stuff we doing today? Just getting the hands going, doing some chop exercises. Just having fun doing some drumline stuff. Here we go. They're going to transcribe it. Thank you, Tyler. Keep hitting this mic. Okay, so I keep hitting my mic. I need to move this a little bit. Boop, and boop. I always have to like put it like super high, so that way when I'm doing accents, it doesn't like bonk into it. And then that way you can, you know, hear what I smell. Cool, let's go faster. 130. So what I'm going to do is just get the blood flowing in my hands and then stretch and massage, and then we'll just like try and play as fast as I can for having not practiced in a couple months. Uh-oh. What's the pad? I'll show you. Oops. taps. I was reading while playing. It messed me up. 140. Yeah, that's awesome to hear that you're playing off the left. I mean, one of the things that you could do, Tyler, is just like every time you're practicing off the right, off the left. You could do that with your drum lines too. I would do that with students in lessons or with some of the drum lines that I worked with. Super helpful. Especially more complicated stuff like some of the shopping sprees. Ooh-wee! A little late. Oh, I forgot to talk about the pad. Let me play a few more reps of this, and then I'll show you a video that'll break it down. So this particular exercise, because it has this turnaround where it goes from the flam taps into the same thing off the left, I feel like this is a kind of an exercise where you don't necessarily have to work it off the left as much as like some other ones, but it's super helpful. Like my paradiddle diddles are not nearly as good off the left as they are on the right. A flaw. My one and only. Cool, let's play it at 160, and then I'll show you a video that unpacks what this pad is and why I recommend it. And then we'll stretch and massage. And then we'll hit drum fast. Ugh. Maybe after the stretch and massage, I'll try it at 200. Okay, so the pad, if you go to my home tab of the tube of you and you scroll all the way down to the tips and lessons section, there's this drumming product reviews playlist. It's got the two pads that I'm actually demonstrating on here. So this is the off-world pad, Invader V3, and then this is the Vic Firth Quadro pad. And so I've got videos that unpack why I recommend both of them, and it gives you like a demo of how this sounds with and without laminates, and then also comparing it to some others like the Real Feel pads, etc. So check out that video. It's like 6.5 minutes, and can help you out with that. But let's stretch and massage. Let's get our hands nice and relaxed. First one, stretching the sides of the forearms. I do sticks in my palms, and then pull in, push through. Oh, it feels good. Do. Yeah, I mean, that is a good point, Tyler, reading through your comment. Starting off the left, it's one of those things. It just, I don't know. It's like a familiarity thing. When you try it, it's like, wait, what? How? Even if you play like paradiddles, like off the right, because like usually you play like a pair of paradiddles, but still, like starting a paradiddle off the left is like, I don't know, uncomfortable. Now I'm going to stretch the underside of the forearm. So the way that you could do this is pull back like this. You could also do this on your pads like this. This allows you to do 2 at a time. Oh, that feels good. Or you could do it on the wall. The lower you go, the deeper the stretch. Don't put all your weight into this. You don't want to rip stuff. Ooh, that feels good. Oh, yeah. Oh, that felt great. Next one, we're stretching the top side of the forearm. So you could pull back 1 at a time like this. You could do this on your pad like this. You could do it on your leg like that. If you do this one on the wall, the higher you go, the deeper the stretch. So stretching along here. But again, don't put all your weight into it. Oh, yeah. And then next we're going to stretch finger to finger. So I'm doing thumb to thumb. Makes it go twice as fast doing it this way. Now, I recommend doing this daily, even on days when you're not like practicing. And I admittedly did not do that over the last couple of months, especially when I was like traveling in Japan. We'd just get like back like to the hotel room and just like, and I'm out because we were walking so much. Like our first day there, we walked 28,000 steps and 115 flights of stairs. So I was tired. Focused more on draining the blood out of the legs, elevating them and whatnot, rather than focusing on my hands. So just go through, hold the like each one of these fingers as long as you need it. Ooh, ASMR, enjoy. That was free of charge. You don't even have to be a member for that. You're welcome. Can we get another one? Oh, it was a baby one. Another one. And that's it for the stretches. Now I'm going to do a quick massage routine. So the first one I'm going to do is massaging with the thumb on top and the fingers underneath. Just kind of working my way up and down the forearm. Oh, yeah. Now, when you're doing this, you might need to like go up to the bicep and the tricep, especially if you do traditional grip, because when you're doing traditional grip, your bicep is moving up and down. It's not a strength thing, it's a speed thing. So you might need to relax that. But I don't do traditional anymore, so I don't need to worry about that. Fulcrum Freddy off the left is brutal. Ooh, yeah. So that one, because of copyright, like I can't have like that exercise as a play along. But I do have a Chug variation that is Chug that's kind of like Fulcrum Freddy. So when you go to a Chug here, boop, it's Chug with single doubles. Too many. These. So the Chug with flam accents and single doubles. So this one, great way to work on those concepts in Fulcrum Freddy, going from the singles to the doubles into the accents. And by the way, for those of you who may be using like the transcription of Fulcrum Freddy, there's one that I often see floating around on the interwebs where they put a grace note right here, and I'll see some like people who will write lengthy explanations of how to play a grace note after a roll, or how to fit a grace note into this space as a 64th note. It's just a transcription error. So, and I say that as like in 2005 at the audition, it was part of the audition packet for Vanguard, and I was there. So there's no grace note after those diddles and the rolls. So don't try that. Just a pro tip. That transcription is wrong. Like there's a Cheesy Poofs variation that I often see floating around, and that one also has like some mistakes in it. The joys of transcriptions. Now I'm going to do thumb massaging the palm, and then the fingers are massaging the backside of the hand. I should work on Fulcrum Freddy. Maybe I'll do that as a like an actual practice stream as opposed to one of these just like having fun playing chop stuff. It's a good exercise. Good set of mechanics to work on. Or this Chug variation, I guess. Man, my congestion. It's still rough. Okay, last one is massaging from base to tip of each one of the fingers. So you do this like a couple of times for each finger. Maybe 3 or 4 if you really need it. And you're just trying to get everything relaxed. Who even is Freddy? I don't know if this is who it's named after, but in 2005, the center snare for Vanguard, and in 2004, the end snare, and maybe even 2003. I forget if he marched in 2003. And then a couple years before that, in 2001 and I think 2002, on Academy's drumline, Freddie was Freddie Smith. was likely the person that is named after. So Freddie was a part of Vanguard, and I think is teching their B Corps, maybe even writing for them. So he went and got degree in film composition, I believe. So he's composer, performer, really super cool dude. But yeah, my guess is that's who Freddie actually is from Fulcrum Freddie. Is Freddie Smith. What's the hardest thing I played? 8 on a hand with consistent sound quality. Cool. All right, so I'm gonna go back into the chop exercises. I don't have like an actual answer to that because everything is like hard for different reasons. So like there's like marimba solos that I've done that are like ridiculously hard for the way that they're played, and then there's timpani stuff that I've done that's like harder for other reasons, and then for the rudimental stuff, like I know that's like a common question, and I appreciate you asking it. It's just I don't really have a good answer to it because, you know, depends on how fast you're playing. Like cheesy poofs can be super easy at 40, or it could be super hard at 40, depending on what you're focusing on. But yeah, the joys of Streamlabs like not detecting my mixer, and then it crashes not only the audio on YouTube but also the stream audio. What's funny is like when I'm gaming, I'll hear it still, but nobody in chat can hear it. Okay, so we're gonna do 160. So what I was saying, cool man, is that it just depends. Like hey, it's working now. Gosh. I have to do like a full restart of the mixer in order to get it to work. So, do you like OBS, like the normal vanilla OBS, Tyler? Because I'm not a fan of this, and the fact that like I can't detect when it happens when I'm doing the gaming stuff is pretty annoying. Okay, here we go. Let's try this at 160, and we'll see how this goes. Now that we stretch and massage. How is vanilla OBS with like multi-streaming? Have you tried that out? That was 160. I was like, what BPM was it? I too am also a fan of like the anti-bloat. Like I don't need most of the features. Like it's got like stream overlays and stuff, but like I don't need that. I don't need all this like whiz bang key jingling effects. Just here to practice or game. Yeah, my hands feel wonky. To be expected. It'll probably take me like a week or so just to get the hands going. You recommend messing around with it? Okay. Maybe I'll try that. I've got so much stuff to do. Like, so much content to create. I'm working on all these like scripted videos because I want to have a new one of those coming out every week in addition to a new drumming tips video coming out every Friday. But then I've still got the vlog to edit. So, lots of content. All the things to do. Good thing I enjoy making it. Woo! I think for today that's a breaking point. It's just one of those days. All right, so now I'm going to go and pick a different one. Why not just have AI generate all of my videos? You joke. I do have some people who will comment, who will be like, so do you have like AI making all these play-alongs? No. I've been doing this full-time for a couple of years now. I wish. Well, not really. The fact that like AI is taking over everything is not a good thing, but no. I know some people who have like tried to use like AI clipping stuff for like their gaming streams, and like every time I see a clip I'm just like, that's not it. Not saying that like mine is of quality, but AI it just is not there yet. It's not good. Okay, so I just went into the chop section for shopping sprees. I'm gonna do a classic. It's one of my favorite sprees. The Blue Devils 99. And I'm going to go at 40. Just kidding. I would do that if I was actually practicing, but today we're just hitting drum fast. Dusting the cobwebs off the old hands. Hello, you. Oops. Shouldn't have talked. Okay, now I'm just going to go up by tens until it falls apart. 120. When you're actually practicing, just go up by ones. And I'd recommend starting slow to really refine the technique. Play with relaxed accents, etc., etc. Hello, me? Yes, hello, me. You do have an interesting concept for an idea? Interesting. Tell me more. AI is interesting from an educational standpoint. I would say that it was some of the ways that like students could engage with AI was better than some of the ways that some of my former colleagues taught. But in general, when it like comes to like if I do a search for like how to play traditional grip or whatever, it's like 80% of the way there. But that last 20%, ooh, it makes a huge difference. It's just Not good advice. But what do I know? Left slightly late. Stop it. Get some help. 140. Ah. You want to have a MIDI controller provide data? Sorry, I'm reading through your comment. Interesting. Yeah, if you go to the first link here, so /drum on my website, it's got like all the drumming stuff. But under the header on here, if you go to the music and coding, I've got a section in here for like Sonic Pi that talks about like some of the Sonic Pi resources and projects that I made. So some very basic stuff. But there's a thing that I experimented with like algorithmically generated music. So as an example, here's a complicated drum beat, what the code looks like for it. And the code, there's also one that has comments on here, but it like creates an infinite drum set loop with fills and everything. But you just change the seed right here, and then it gives you a completely different set of like fills, drums, etc. So I have experimented with like some algorithmically generated music, and in fact, I have. Let me go get it. Here's like a couple of books that might be of interest to you. So one, Tyler, is the Oxford Handbook of Interactive Audio. This one is more like game related, video game related, but also it's got stuff in here for what's the name of it? Like interactive artwork. So like when you go into a room and like depending on like how you move, like the sound will change with you, or it'll change like the painting that's being digitally created on the wall, etc. So this might be a book that doesn't interest you. They're expensive, these handbooks. And then another one is the Oxford Handbook of Algorithmic Music. So this one is much more like live coding, like the people are doing on the cover right here. So they're creating music that is creating not only this visual on the screen, but also the sound that you would hear, and they do it live, and they'll often have like projected on the wall the code that is being done, like with Sonic Pi or some like other like C Sound, other platforms. So that might be of interest to you, is like checking those out. But yeah, the Ray Kurzweil has also done some stuff with algorithmic music, with MIDI in particular, like composition-wise. So there's a lot of stuff that people have done that's like pretty cool that might inspire you with like your own project with that. But one of my favorite things to do is to use Max. It used to be called Max MSP, so not to be confused with HBO Max. But that I've used for some different stuff. It allows you to create music and visuals together, which is a pretty cool thing. But like many years ago, I made some like basic stuff like here's a metronome. That was like one of the first projects that we made. But then also like this simulates walking through like a forest. So it like randomly will generate sound for you. And so this is what the code looks like. It's a visual programming language. And some of these are like functions. So when you click on it, it opens up and it has like more code inside of it. But you're basically sending the signal to like a function that'll then like determine the timing of stuff. So you'll have like birds fly over your head. You'll have like frogs and crickets and like a creek that'll slowly pass by. And like every time it does it, it's completely different. So that's like some cool stuff that you can do with like this. And you can also have it so that it like will generate visuals with it. I didn't really experiment much with that. I also experimented with creating, this is what the code looks like for a 4-track quantized loop station. So when you press like different keys, it'll, with a metronome, so quantized to the beat, it'll record different audio and then immediately play it back to you for like a given length of time. And so you can like play like some of the stuff that you do with like Ableton, and you can like create your own versions of this. But this actually can embed into Ableton Live if you're familiar with that digital audio workstation, the DAW. So if you use Ableton, Max, and formerly Max MSP, is a cool thing to like mess around with if you want to get nerdy and jump down that rabbit hole. There's a ton of tutorials and like video tutorials and stuff online. It is a little weird that it's like a graphical programming language, but because of like your background and understanding of programming, like you'll be able to pick it up quick. It's cool though. I like it. Yeah, there's a lot of resources on that music encoding portion of the website that you could check out, and that might help you with that little project. I was having so much fun with that class that taught the Max MSP back when I took it. I was auditing it, and I just kept working on projects at home. I was like, this is cool. Let's try it again. I was thinking about something else, what I want to do next, and it screwed me up. I gotta focus. Woo-wee! I think this will be my breaking point, 160. It's gonna burst into flames. But yeah, that programming language, Max, is the second language I learned. The very first one I learned was in high school, C++, which is like stupid heavy with a syntax that you have to worry about. So I don't recommend it. That is like a beginning language to learn or teach. But I then took a huge break from junior year of high school until the last semester of my doctorate. I audited a class that was like programming these music apps with that graphical programming language, and I had so much fun doing it. And I was constantly like, when is this music, when is this coding, and when are the two inseparable? And then those questions like made me actually go back into the classroom when I finished my coursework for the doctorate, and I started teaching computer science to explore those questions. And yeah, had I not taken that class, I probably would have like ended up just music education professor, as opposed to teaching computer science for several years, like arts-based coding and whatnot. It's funny how like one little change in like things that you do just completely change your trajectory career-wise. I like it. That's funny. I was reading your comment. That was rough. I did play a book report because my brain was thinking about book reports. Um, that actually makes me think. When I used to do the computer science podcast, I would often like alternate between like interviewing a guest and then doing an episode where I unpack scholarship, like in relation to what does this actually mean for teaching in the classroom. And some of the papers that I did was like these seminal papers on X, Y, or Z topic, and I'll often get like YouTube will just get all of a sudden like a bunch of hits for it. And I think it's when a professor assigns like a reading for a class. And so that rather than actually do the reading, they'll just like listen to my podcast on it. And so like all of a sudden I'll just get like a bunch of hits, and then it'll be like nothing for like until that time of the semester, like next semester. I think that's funny. I mean, I guess if you want to save time, but I'd highly recommend, actually reading seminal works if you want to be good at the thing you're trying to, get a degree in. But what do I know? I'm in the Chug variations. I'm just going to play a Chug with hertas for fun. Because why not? Not at 70. That would be fun with the feet. I should work on double bass again. I put that on pause to like focus on the limb independent stuff last year, but maybe that should be a goal for me, is to get the feet going. Noted. Okay, so hertas with Chug. The hard part about this is like the hertas in particular, to make sure it does not slur out like this. So you don't want it to be slurred. You want it to have not this, but like the rhythmic, as if you were doing a diddle, but you're singling it all. I say that to say I'm probably going to slur it out. Wah, wah. Something that might help with like sight reading. I don't know, because like sight reading is much more of a concert percussion thing than it is like a rudimental thing. Like very rarely have I ever needed to sight read anything rudimental wise. It was usually like in a rehearsal where the instructor would like hand out music, and so we wouldn't get it in advance, which for me, that's kind of a waste of time. Rehearsal is you're rehearsing. You're doing it again. You're not like learning, usually speaking. So yeah, I don't know about sight reading. Like a sight reading app for percussionists rather than for like rudimental drummers. Yeah, that might be interesting. I know there's quite a few that do that, and then I simulate that with the sight reading stuff on the channel. But there's already like there's apps that like allow you to create a ton of grid variations where you just like say, hey, I want this rudiment on this partial, and then it generates it for you. But those are paid. There's also apps that like allow you to like rehearse specific parts of measures, but again, those are paid. So like there's cool features out there that like can help rudimental drummers in these like various apps, but I'm trying to think of how to phrase this without putting judgment on it. Those features come at a cost that how am I going to word this? Can limit who can use those features. And for me, like since I created my website in 2003, like it's been free. All my publications, all the music that I make, etc., everything is free on there. So like I'm personally against the get rich quick that I see a lot of people trying to do. That came across as more judgmental than probably intended, but you know what I mean? Like, I don't know. There are features out there that are very helpful, but because of the development costs, they're at a premium price. But like, then there's all these resources that I create that are not premium, but they're free. like some of the apps will be like, okay, well, now changes so that it's like flam accents and rolls, and then it will like do that, or like it'll be like, oh, I'm having issues with this section or this measure, and then it'll just loop that and it'll count you off in between each rep, etc. So like that's cool, but like these YouTube videos can't do that obviously unless you just keep hitting rewind on like your keyboard. But yeah, I just don't think it's worth like $10 a month to have that feature. But to each their own. I'm much more of like reach as many people as possible for free, but I also make like $2 a day, and most of that is from the computer science stuff. So does it pay my bills? No. Not at all. Man, I definitely want to work this up with my feet. Oh, that'd be so fun. Like, imagine playing that, like, at that speed on the kick. Woo! Woo-wee. That'd be so fun. I like that idea. I really like the pay what you want model. That I think is like a really good happy medium. And I know of some apps and programs where people are able to like make a decent amount of money doing that. That's a cool way to like, hey, if you can't afford this, totally understand. Pay if you want to. They'll do that with movies sometimes. Speaking of slurred hertas, last line was ba-da-da, 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 ba-da-da. It was great. Flawless, I mean, no, those weren't airs. You just can't hear correctly. They were airs. They were definitely airs. Let's play a grid variation. Let's do that. So there's over 1,000 of those. So, you know, if you like grid, you can pay for one of those apps, or you can just go to these playlists. Let's do there's a lot. Could do herta grid, that's funny. Actually, let's just do a classic flam drag. So there's triplet versions of the rudiments, and then there's 16th note versions of the rudiments. So you do you. What I'd highly recommend if you want to work on grid is just focus on the rudiment on one. Even though this has, 28 videos in here? Focus on the very, first couple, whether it's forward grid, which is 4-2-1, or backwards grid, which is 1-2-4, as opposed to, the flam drag after an accent, but there's 2 accents, or, flam drag every 5 notes. Don't worry about those. Those are goofy, but the ones to, really work on a rudiment, just put, cheese on one, flam 5 on one, etc. No, we're not going to start there. But start slow with these, start at 40, just go up 1 click at a time, and then you'll eventually get to the point where you can really play them fast. But let's start off at a nice, comfortable 100, and then we'll just go up by 10, because, again, I'm just chopping out today as opposed to practicing. I slurred a 30-second note, hertas at 150. Not good enough. I know, I'm terrible. Speaking of, I slurred that out. I'm terrible, but, that's why I do these practice streams. Imagine that with the feet. At 150. Woo! Grid, by the way, definitely work those up off the left. Those are fun. Chug cheese grid off the left. Whoo! That's a good one. 110. 120. And click. Do, 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 do. Go. Ooh, I nailed it. Mm-hmm. 160 will probably be my breaking point this morning. That's okay. In like a week, my hands will be back to normal. Go. Oh, I was early. I'm still thinking of your question, Tyler. Like, what would be helpful? I was like trying to think of it from a standpoint of like what would be helpful from a rehearsal standpoint. Like, there's obviously like programmable metronomes, like those are helpful and expensive. So if you were to make like a free version of that, that could like play like this many measures at this speed, and then be able to like program it to make some adjustments and whatnot, that might be useful for instructors, for people practicing. But I don't know. I'm still thinking about it. It's a good question. You just found a Python library that allows you to generate music and display it in MuseScore. That's cool. I'm assuming it's the offline version of MuseScore. Huh. Yeah, that's neat. The things you can do with code is pretty cool. It'd save me a lot of time if AI can make all these play-alongs. My thumb came off the stick. Let's try that again. Whoops. A little too relaxed, I think. You know, that triangle fulcrum. Trying to stay relaxed. Sometimes the stick just goes flying. All right, this will probably be the crash and burn point. Better than I thought. We'll see how 170 goes. Will my arms burst into flames? Maybe. This camera has a sprinkler system installed in it, though. Don't worry. Safety first. Does it sound good? No. Are we going to go faster? Yeah. Why? Because I'm cold. The flames will help. Here we go. 180. Go. Ooh wee. I played that like a tenor drummer. Oh. Sorry. My taps and accents were not as defined as I would like. Cool. Okay. Well, that was fast. My forearms feel warm. I like it. Okay. I'm gonna do one more. I'm gonna go back into the chop section. And let's do a shopping spree. There's a ton in here. There's currently 32 videos. I've got a few more shopping sprees as well. Flam drags at 180 are wild. Yeah, especially when you try and grid it. I'm scrolling all the way to the bottom here, and I'm doing this one. This one, the Velvet Knights 5/4 spree. It's a 16th note spree. We're gonna play it at 20. But it's really cool. So it's got a bunch of like, because it's in 5-note groupings, it's got a bunch of like float drags, which is where you play with the diddle on, not just on 2, but also on 4. So cha da 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 da. That's a float drag. Named after Tom Float. A float cheese. You have your cheese, and then you put a diddle on 4, and again, it's a 5-note grouping. And then float 5, etc. So if you want to spice things up, float drags, float cheeses are fairly common, but that's the name for it. So like, for example, obviously that float drag exercise I warmed up with has float drags. But that 99 Blue Devil shopping spree that I played, 30 minutes ago or whatever, that one had float flam drags, float cheeses. So they're fairly common. They're fun. I don't know, 100? Give it about 10 years, people ask about cadets. The way they ask about the Velvet Knights. Oh, no, that's sad. Man, I got lessons from Vern Johnson, who was like the one of the tenor techs for cadets. I learned so much from that dude. He was the tenor soloist in Blast, so the dude who played like the singles. He taught me so much about like how to like break down the rudiments into different mechanical groupings. Which there's a video that I'm like working on that'll come out 2 weeks from now that like unpacks some of those ideas. But yeah, that was they had some solid instruction, some solid drum lines, like the Cadets 2000 tenor break. You know which one I'm talking about, Tyler? The one where they're like playing behind their backs and then moving around the drums. We played that in 2003 Academy. We like literally just ripped off the entire drum break. It was fun. The snare part was cool too. But yeah, cadets were great. So those were the float drags. Cheeses. Float cheeses. Now float 5s. I'm leaving out the rim shots because I don't want to play them and damage these sticks. These are super heavy hammers, so the Hardeman hammers. I asked for the heaviest pair from Steve Weiss, and they delivered. So I don't want to break them. I don't want to switch to a lighter pair. How do you go from a multi-balance roll into a flam? You just gotta be born good. Just built different. Hate to break it to you. You do it poorly. That's how you do it. Right? I love you. Nice video on the flams. Thank you. I tried to introduce that in a fun way, because I know there's a lot of dogmatism with the flams. this is pushing it. That's getting rough. Yeah, so like on those videos where like I know there's gonna be like questions or hesitations or just like a lot of I've been taught a different way than the viewer has been taught a different way than I'm presenting it in the video. Because I try and treat sorry. I try and treat a lot of these videos as what's called like a heuristic, so an idea of getting you to think differently and to be able to take the concepts and then help you unpack it in your own way, as opposed to this is the one way to do this one thing. I try and avoid that. So in those videos that are more heuristic based, where it's getting you to think of, well, there's many ways to do this thing, think through A, B, and C, I'll try and present it in like a funnier way, especially if it's going to be controversial like that. But then like the one that came out, what is it, yesterday? I think it was the tenor crossover one. That's just like very like cut and dry. So that one doesn't necessarily have as much controversy around it. So just, hey, here's how you do it. But yeah, the flam one was fun to make. I like making these videos. It's a fun way to like teach. Very different than teaching in person. My goal is to have a new one of those every week this year. Woo-wee! Yikes. Ugh. More controversy. Angry comments and dislikes are still engagement. That is true. But when it's like an angry comment like at me rather than like I disagree with what you're saying, like, nah, we don't need more of that. Like if people are like, I don't like the way you're playing or teaching. Okay. You do you. But if it's like, you smell funny, I'll be like, how do you smell me through the video? But you're correct. Let's try this at 1:30. This is not going to go good. We'll have fun with it, though. This will be the last thing I ever play. Oh, no. Better make it good. It's great. This first half is fine. But that tag, woo-wee! Close. Had I not taken a 2-month break, I probably could have nailed that last line, but oh no, we messed up here. We'll keep working on it. Whew. Well, my hands are warmed up. Tomorrow, I'll be doing limb independence stuff. More of that. What I'm going to start doing with limb independence is actually switching between 2 different patterns. So there's like many ways that you can do that. I'll show you some of them tomorrow. So rather than just like, I'm going to play this like set of 5 charts one way, now I'm going to start switching where I'll play like one chart and then the very next chart will be a completely different way. Or doing every 4 bars. So you do like a whole line of just like one way of limb independence and then you switch to another one and you just keep going back and forth between it. So I'll start working on that tomorrow and then maybe add in some double bass stuff so I can actually learn how to do that. And then 2 days from now, I'll do tenor stuff. That's the plan. And then Friday, I'll take off because we're getting dogs on Thursday, and I don't know how they're going to do with drumming. So off stream, I'm going to like test out like, hey, how reactive are they to playing? So maybe I'll take a couple days off while they just kind of get used to me hitting the drum. But if they're anything like our previous dogs, they would like sit next to me, right next to the hi-hat, like while I was practicing. Or they just all like lay in front of the drums. It was adorable. I loved it. Even when we had like the marimba set up, we would have a dog who would like lay behind you while you'd play marimba. It was good. Positive mindset. It will go great until it doesn't. Ain't that the truth? Anyways, If you like these play-alongs, there's thousands of them on my home tab. Just click on any of the headers and it shows you all of the content. There's a lot. So like technique exercises, there's almost 500 of those in all those different playlists. Again, use the timestamps in the description to jump to whatever BPM you want. And then there's also over 18 hours of me responding to drumming related Q&A, as well as like these scripted drumming lessons. Now, this is my goal for this year. My main focus is creating a new one of these every single week. So like this one comes out on next Monday. So stay tuned for that. But we'll also continue to write more music. There's currently 600 plus videos scheduled to release over the next year and a half or so. Stay tuned. But as always, I appreciate everybody who enjoys these resources and shares them with people. If you don't enjoy the resources, share it with an enemy and just mwahaha the whole way. You just send that to them. But I'm going to get ready for Borderlands 4. Play that for like an hour and a half or two. And then we'll be back on tomorrow. So that's the plan. You think they like the music? Like, yeah. So there's one of my favorite photos is like my wife playing piano. And there's like, we were house sitting for friends, and their beagle was just like in the background, just like howling, like singing along. It's fun to see how like different animals will make music and whatnot. Like I used to have pet rats, and they would run around on my marimba, and they made this like really like interesting like little like musical sound, like while like going up like the keys. It was fun. It sounded really neat. I should write a composition for rats. But yeah, we'll see how these two dogs respond to it. So we'll find out. But I'm rambling. I hope you'll have a good rest of your day. And thanks for stopping in. And goodbye.